Carrie, thanks very much. 7:13 right now, and South Bend Mayor James Mueller joins me this morning. I appreciate your time. One of the issues, we've been digging quite a bit into the newsroom, and we'll have a special report coming up next week, but it's specifically about the impact the property tax cut law now has in Indiana. It will have on counties, townships. City of South Bend is expected to see about a $30 million cut in its property tax revenue over the course of this 3-year tax cut cycle. What kind of impact is that going to have on the city?
Well, there's one thing is we don't know the full impacts of this new law. The property tax reform in the first couple of years, what it did was, in many ways, it gave a credit, gave some tax relief, but not targeted tax relief. So those hardest hit and most vulnerable to the recent housing price increases are not going to get the relief that they probably need. And others are going to get it that probably don't need it as much. And so, but it will cost, it will have a tremendous impact on local governments throughout the state. But the first couple of years, what it does is it caps the growth, other than those new credits, about 4%. So first couple of years, it's not necessarily, the worst thing in the world. It will limit to what we can do, but not the worst thing. It's year 3 and beyond. And they didn't even score after year 3 before they passed the bill. So most of the consequential impacts will come in years 3 and beyond. And the property tax reform side is one piece of it. They also are completely changing the local income tax structure, which will have profound effects going forward.
And I'll ask you about that in a second. But also, just to clarify, this is kind of government ease, I would say, because there was talk about property tax cuts in the revenue. But in reality, it's not an actual cut in revenue. You're not getting less revenue. You're just not getting as much as you were expecting. So it's really a cut in the rate of the growth. There's still a growing revenue coming into the city of South Bend, correct?
Right. Well, it is until year 3. So we will, in 2028, on the projections from the state fiscal analysis, the city of South Bend will have less revenue in 28 than we do this year in 25. Most of the other governments, including our local schools, will have more revenue in 28 than 25. So it is capping the growth rate. Which is not catastrophic necessarily, but it's those changes in years 3 and beyond, when the local income tax structure changes, when more credits go into effect. And honestly, those haven't been analyzed yet, and that's what we're trying to wrap our heads around right now.
All right, so the question is, the legislation allows the state to say, okay, local governments, you can essentially raise your income taxes to try to make up for that revenue. Will the city of South Bend be raising its income taxes?
Well, this is the thing that nobody understands how this is going to work. There was no analysis about how the revenue will work. And so currently, countywide, we have a 1.75% local income tax rate. This new law gets rid of, guts most of the existing local income tax and allows cities like South Bend to raise an income tax up to 1.2%. So just on the face of it, it's a tax countywide at 1.75%, going down to a city tax of 1.2%. So I'm not convinced that there's this income tax, when we analyze this, is going to be a great new source of revenue. So we're going to have to make some tough choices, and we're going to hold off on cuts to public safety and other core services. But this bill, unless it's changed in the next few years, I do think will lead to public safety cuts, will lead to worse infrastructure conditions and slower economic growth.
And on top of that, possibly higher taxes for the people who live in the city?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're shifting the tax burden to residents.
Okay.
Yeah. Mayor
Mueller, we're out of time. Unfortunately, we have 1,000 more questions, but we will continue to delve into this. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
It's 7:17. We'll be right back.